Yo, what's up, guys? This is Why Not Be Reckless, aka Why Not Be Casting. I'm one of the HCS commentators, and we have another HCS Weekly Report where today we're talking about both of the qualifiers, specifically the one that happened on the 13th and the 14th, and we're talking about how Faze came out on top on back-to-back to be a #1 seed going into Charlotte. But why don't we talk a little bit about their journey and the rest of the winners bracket, along with cover the lower bracket just a little bit, and find out who's going to be that top 6, who's making it to pool play, who's going to be the next 2 teams that make it via points and qualifiers, and also talk a little bit about the international regions as well. Pool play has been decided. Let's get right into it. So first up, we're going to start off here in winners bracket round number 5. Faze 3-0ing the Strong Survive. We talked about this quite a bit in the pregame show from yesterday, but even though I'm a big fan of the Strong Survive, Super CC, Swish, Mortally, and Septify, still can't say I'm surprised that Faze got the best of it. I think Faze, again, #1 team, TSS, I want to see them be fighting for top 8. Maybe on a great day they can get top 6, but even if they got top 12, I'm not gonna be surprised by that. So just 2 entirely different levels or different places that TSS and Faze are at. But either way, you have Super CC, formerly of that Fnatic roster, Switch, formerly of G1, Mortally, who's been kind of a journeyman here, but he was actually on the Strong Survive's original roster alongside Ace that made into Worlds, and then Septify that was picked up last minute, dropped from Complexity. They chose to drop Huss and pick up Septify last minute. Believe the hype, believe the hype. Team So Nice, they named it twice. Believe the hype somehow pulling off the 3-0 victory versus Native Red. It wasn't enough that BTH got 4th place during the first qualifier. Then they come out and 3-0 your #3 team coming from Worlds. Absolutely insane. You already know who they are, but Monster coming fresh off of that French Toast Mafia run. Boom, an absolute incredible back player for that Oxygen Esports roster. One of the big reasons, one of the unsung heroes of that Oxygen Esports roster that got 8th place back at Worlds. Precision has been an absolute monster. Nobody talked about Precision all through season 1. But the real ones who are paying attention, they know Precision's the real deal. And then Neuronical, former teammates with Monster, actually even former teammates with Bohm, former teammates with Monster over on that Complexity roster. And then when Bohm and Neuronical started to break into the Halo Infinite scene and really started to make their names known, it was on that Esports Arena Red roster. Esports Arena Red were incredible. That's when we first heard about Collect as well, alongside Rami, and not when they first heard about them, but I'm saying that's when they first started to really step into the scene and say, hey, we're here. BTH pulling off the major upset against Native Red, excuse me. Next up, Optic 3-0ing Shopify Rebellion. Mental, Carmea, Rain, and YNOT. Mental coming from that Gears of War crew. You have Carmea, high sensitivity, high damage output, always has the ability to stay alive. Rain, the ultimate teammate, and YNOT, the ultimate general of the crew. I've said it once and I'll say it again. Any team that would YNOT on it usually plays a little bit against the grain, and I love it. It's obviously important to understand the meta of the game that you're playing, especially on a competitive level, but to be willing to define the meta, to be willing to go against the grain, and to change the way the game is played and make people adapt to how you play. I think it's always bold. It's always amazing. So that's one of the reasons why I'm always big on any team with Ryan Dubin, and that includes Shopify Rebellion. Optic Gaming 3-1. SS Street G3-2 on G1. The G1 just couldn't get over the hump twice. 2 tournaments in a row against SSG. 2 times it went to a game 5. Last tournament, G1 had that advantage and looked to be in control for most of that game 5 game, but SSG eventually took over, didn't look back. In this one, it was a little bit more decisive in favor of SSG, but I still think these are winnable games for G1, and we need to see G1 get over the hump. People thought I was crazy when I said G1 were a number 4 ranked team going into Halo Infinite. And I thought, and I truly believe that if you give G1 time, eventually they will surpass SSG. Well, we look at the lower bracket and look at the rest of this tournament. Maybe they surpassed them yesterday. Maybe. Faze 3-0, believe the hype. Believe the hype had an amazing one against Native Red, but Faze are a terrible matchup for them. Believe the hype don't want to see Faze shoot. I don't think anybody wants to see Faze in a bracket. 3-0. Would love to see Believe the hype get a win off of them, especially after 3-0ing Native Red. So make at least getting one win off of them. But it was still competitive games. Optic 3-0ing SSG. Now that was a surprise. That was a surprise because although Optic seemed to have the best of SSG during these engagements, SSG always make it competitive. SSG always make it competitive. They got swept. And Optic, although able to sweep SSG, wasn't able to sweep Faze. Faze this time, unlike the tournament from yesterday, I'm sorry, the day before yesterday, the first qualifier, if you will. This time, it's Faze that make it into the grand finals through the winners bracket. Optic having to play one more series in the elimination bracket in order to make it back into the grand finals and try to get the revenge because Faze 3-1 them. Native Red 3-0 Space Station Gaming. I'm gonna let y'all stew on that one. Native Red 3-0 Space Station Gaming to give Space Station Gaming their lowest placing in 2 seasons, top 6 for Eco, Penguin, Stellar, and Bound, top 6. That don't even sound right. Native Red go from getting swept by Believe the Hype to sweeping a team that never dropped out of the grand finals on land. I say it all the time. Native Red are the hardest team to gauge in the league because they can beat anybody in the league, they can lose to anybody in the league. And if yesterday's tournament didn't prove that, I don't know what will. The same way that you don't want to match against Faze in any bracket because you know what they're going to bring. You know they're going to be dangerous. You know they're going to be the hardest team to beat out. You don't want to match against Native Red because you don't know who you're going to get. I'm telling you, catch Native Red on the right day, they'll sweep Optic. They'll sweep Faze. On the right day, it'll happen. And then on this day, they swept Space Station Gaming. G1 were able to 3-0 Sentinels. Right after that, 3-1, Believe the Hype. Big for them. I believe the Hype was able to get the best of them yesterday. In the first qualifier. So G1 once again coming into their own, pulling off that 3-1. That's good. Then G1 go to battle with Native Red. Native Red must have been feeling good after pulling off that sweep against SSG. They must have been feeling confident. The question is, did they feel overconfident? G1 is still a different beast. And not only did they go game 5 with Native Red and beat them, but then go game 5 with Optic Gaming. In the elimination bracket finals, G1, and people thought I was crazy for putting G1 in my top 4. G1 got 3rd place this tournament. Am I still crazy? You thought I was crazy for putting them in the top 4, but am I still crazy for them getting 3rd place but not able to get over the hump against Optic Gaming? Just like we saw in the North American Super in Season 1, obviously a much different team back then. Optic Gaming, a bad matchup for G1. G1 doing better with this new roster, but if you're gonna consistently beat out the SSGs, if you're gonna go at it and compete against the Optics and the Phases consistently, it's gonna take some time for G1. But let's not forget they're still a new roster. So for the fact that they hit the ground running this well, you take Optic to a Game 5, you get top 3 in the final qualifier leading into Charlotte. That's already great for G1. They're already ahead of the goalpost. Now, practice, film review, grind, and improve. And G1 will continue to get better. Optic Gaming 3-2 over G1. Can't really say I'm surprised there. Grand Finals, Faze versus Optic. Get used to hearing that. I'm telling you right now, get sick of it and get over it. Because Grand Finals, Faze, and Optic are going to be a sentence that you hear time and time again for probably the entirety of Season 2. If there's 8 important tournaments in Season 2, 6 of them are going to be this Grand Finals. And you know what? It's going to be competitive. And that's what really matters, because every single matchup from Faze and Optic, this rivalry is absolutely incredible. They both want it. They both want it bad. You can tell every single time they match up, they leave it all on the line. They open up the playbook. Faze able to win back-to-back qualifiers, 3-2 over Optic Gaming. This did not go to a reset. It's crazy to me that Optic had the lead at one point. They tried this bottom mid strategy on Livefire. It was good on paper. Now shred that paper. Eat it. I don't want to see that shit ever again. 2 times in a row. 2 times in a row. Optic tried it, and 2 times they failed, and Faze ended up taking the lead from it. And once they took the lead, they never gave it up. The bold strategy. Sometimes bold don't win. Faze, back-to-back qualifying champions, and going into Charlotte as the #1 seed. Probably have some questions on who else is going to be joining them. Don't worry, I'll answer it for you. It's going to be Faze. Optic as the #2. #3 seed is going to be G1. #4, Native Red. #5. PlayStation Gaming. #6, Believe the Hype. What year are we in? #7, Sentinels. Not with Frosty Royal 2 or Snakebite, the new Sentinels. And then #8, YNOT Rebellion. Are going to be your top 8 teams coming out of North America to make it into pool play. Then you have some international teams as the #1 seed, Navi, not Quadrant, Navi. Upset City all over the place. Quadrant supposed to be the most dominant team out of the EU, out of any of the international teams, and Navi coming out looking good. And that to me just adds so much stock into Snipe Drone. When Snipe Drone's on that Ascend roster, Ascend don't lose. When Legend and Sika go and join SLG and Chick, they leave Snipe Drone behind. Snipe Drone and Navi get the best of them in the final qualifier. I believe it was Navi beat Quadrant in the winners finals in the first qualifier. Quadrant then went back-to-back in the reset and came out on top to win the first qualifier, but the qualifier that really mattered, Navi come out on top. Big for them. Quadrant #2, Coyotes out of Latin America. If there's any orgs that are looking for a team, hey, you got a team in pool play right here. And then Divine Mind, no longer with Barcode, but they're gonna come in and try to make some noise in Charlotte. Let everybody know what they learned, and eventually have 4 open bracket spots. It's gonna be really exciting going into Charlotte. Which, by the way, what is it? Today's the 15th. Charlotte is a week and a couple of days away, guys. a week and a couple of days to get that last minute practice in to fix whatever mistakes that you saw during the qualifier and try to get better. Because Charlotte is where it counts. Where it counts is on land. That's where champions are made. Ladies and gentlemen, that's your HCS Weekly Report. Again, Faze go back to back. They are your champion, and rightfully so. But now can they do it on land is the question. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think. What are going to be the upsets? Do you think Faze can do it on land? Do Optic reclaim their title? They're back-to-back land champions. They should be able to do it once again here in Charlotte. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Likes, subscribes, any kind of engagement with the video is great for the algorithm. And if you support Halo, it's esports. If you support your boy, go ahead and support the video. Obviously, Twitch, TikTok, all that good stuff. You know, all that stuff. All right, peace out.